going to be your quarterly readings. It doesn't matter what sign you are. It doesn't matter the time. It doesn't matter the location. If you are looking for work, or if you want to leave your job and get another job, you look at this video anytime. It is timeless. And you will get your answer. Okay? You will know what to do, what's getting in your way, and how to fix it. Or if there is no job prospect that the reading doesn't foretell, then it means that you may need to sit this quarter out, plan and prepare to relaunch again. If there's a retrograde during this period, take the time to prepare, research, gather data, and then when it goes direct, launch your objectives. If you have this quarter a full moon or a new moon or first, second, third, and fourth quarter, that also will influence this quarter either going your way or not. This is for the collective. If it doesn't go correctly, you know what to do. I will give you the instructions. This is different from the other tarot card readers who and they're very, very good. Actually, I have to give thanks to the tarot readers on YouTube who do monthly forecasts or by signs, or they do a channeled reading or a general collective. It's excellent. I tested it myself. Now, the thing that the tarot readers don't add to their readings, which I think it would be helpful if they do, is include the moon phases and the quarters. It does help. I believe that maybe as an astrologer, it is more beneficial to read the quarters, since most tarot card readers may not be versed in astrology. It will be beneficial if they did. So this puts you, my subscribers, ahead of the game, because you need to know the mysteries of the moon in order for you to have maximum resources of information that can go your favor or work with you. If the heavens are behaving in a way that things are not running smoothly, like maybe many eclipses, solar or lunar eclipses, especially to the nodal axis. Remember, we are now entering Taurus Scorpio nodal axis, and we were in Sagittarius Gemini for a long time. So in fact, we got nine eclipses, solar eclipses in Sagittarius, 9 years. So Taurus and Scorpio won't award an easier process either. Remember, this is the axis that deals with transformation, transmutation, destruction. Things get worse before they get better, and then there is a new renewedness that comes to the fore. These are the nodal axes of Taurus and Scorpio. I have to take it into account. Also, if the moon is void of course, or if the other planets are retrograde, that has to be known. Now, let's say next year you come and you touched on this video, and I said that it's on this so quarters, so you might think it might not be relevant. Remember, life is cyclical. I'm going to give you the definitions of the lunar phases. That way, you have extra information. When we're done discussing the lunar phases, then I will do a reading for job and career, and I will direct it to those under 30 years old who have not reached their Saturn return. And then I will do another for those who are above 30 and are in midlife. In this phase, you might need to transition from one job to another. You might be working 30, 40 years, and then in your 40s and 50s, retire and start a new career or a hobby. These things will be delineated in this video as a general reading for the collective. So it will be broken into three categories. Those below 30, those above 30, who have not worked or have been in between jobs. And then I'm going to have those in midlife, whether they're going to continue or retire or make a life transition, which may include also a change of location. There are many people that have secondary careers after age 50, usually after the second Saturn return. And so one alderman became a congressman. So these are phases that are governed, or these phases in life, these experiences seem to correlate with the lunar phases. So I believe that having this information coupled with the reading that I will be giving in a minute will equip you with enough information for you to make the right choices. Okay, so we're going to begin. I hope you like the effect. You know, I have the moon and I have the smog, you know, like a cloudy. That's a little incense from Archangel Michael. Giving it a nice effect of a lunar phase. You gotta, you gotta make it. This is where your donation monies go to. So I can be creative, to keep it interesting. These are the lunar phases. Full moon. And then it's going into a new moon. These are cycles that are very important. Very important. And it will give you maximized resources. That's the only word I can use. Resources that you can use to help you in developing your career or for that job search. Okay. We are going to begin. For this, I am going to have to turn on the light. I just wanted to give you that effect. And of course, the demon is going to do what he's going to do. You just soldier on. Because that's exactly what it's designed to do. All right. There we go. Now, the new moon each month marks the end result of an old cycle and at the same time begins a new cycle. It is a time, if I may look at this a little bit more succinctly. Sorry, I know I have my glasses. Where did they go? Give me 1 second, guys. I just have my glasses. Let's see, where are you? All right, I'm live, so there you go. The trickster. There we go. Give it 10 seconds. All right. Unbelievable. Okay, here we go. Sorry for that. Okay, it is a time of manifesting. So the new moon is the time to manifest whatever it is that you requested or desired from the universe at least 3 weeks prior on a full moon. So on the new cycle that begins on a new moon, it is the time of manifesting that generally favors conclusions and consolidations of older stuff from the prior cycle. In order for you to start a new cycle, the next new moon, which is 4 weeks. Now, the full moon is a turning point in cycle, which happens monthly. It reveals crises, breakthroughs, and opportunities for awareness. Awareness that might allow you to change or correct some pre-existing pattern that may not have been useful for you, or it was, but in this new cycle, it won't, and you may need to acquire new skills or new avenues to express yourself in your vocation, or to add additional skills to enhance the current vocation, or altogether leave and find another job. This is the phase in which you can do that. Now, both the full moon and the new moon function differently in each sign. The cardinal signs have specific functions independent of the notable or mutable and fixed modalities of the rest of the signs, and so on. The elements in which the signs belong in by category also have different definitions or behave differently than, say, water elements from fire and so on. So we are going to go over the moon, the full moon, and the new moon in the cardinal signs, mutable signs, and fixed signs. The full moon in Cancer, emotional needs can seem bigger than they really are. But sometimes you have to put your feelings and emotional needs ahead of everybody else. This may seem selfish, and it is sometimes selfish. But sometimes it's necessary to be selfish, and the full moon in Cancer awards this opportunity. It is a time to regroup yourself emotionally. If you do not put your feelings first, you will not properly assess what your needs are. Others can then take advantage of you. You can attract insensitive types that can abuse you. Okay? Drama usually accompanies this phase. Always remember, though, it is important to understand that you ultimately have to handle your business. Okay? Quote and unquote. Okay. The new moon in Cancer. The new moon in Cancer will put you in touch with the intuitive, perceptive side of the moon versus the emotional intellectualization of the full moon. Unlike the full moon, though, where the impulse of emotional tides can be ignored, on the new moon, the feelings and hunches will persist and will not go away. If the feelings and hunches are not addressed, a crisis will result. This can be illness that includes depression, insomnia, and suddenly neurotic disturbances, going to an extreme, of course. The lesson here is to trust what your emotions are telling you, the full moon, and then do something about it on the new moon. The full moon in Capricorn, the opposite polarity of Cancer. You have to come out of your self protective shell if you really want to make your mark. Full moon in Capricorn. Some discipline and a little toughness can go a long way right now. You have a balance. You have to balance your vulnerabilities with an iron determination to succeed. It is not the time to self-doubt, Capricorn, with the full moon here. Obstacles, opposition, and adversity may very well come your way, but you must marshal through it. This is the full moon in Capricorn. The new moon in Capricorn. A time to harvest what you've initiated at the full moon. Success, material prosperity should come your way now due to the hard work initiated at the full moon. All effort should stop here. All motivations, activities, and intentions towards outcomes should be directed towards society or a particular population. If selfishness and greed take control, illness or fall from grace or scandal and loss of respect and reputation may take place. Okay? The full moon in Aries, the most enterprising and most industrious position for the full moon in resourceful Aries. All starts of all kinds can take place now. A time of great activity, action, stamina, and inspiration. There is a strong feeling of invulnerability, courage, and faith. The full moon in Aries lends to complex feelings of courage, entitlement, and arrogance with a penchant of selfishness. It is a time to listen to no one and act purely on instinct, especially in times of crisis. A time to lead and a time to create action, even if by force, if necessary, or by whatever means necessary. The new moon in Aries, a time to meet challenges head on, unlike the full moon, where force, ingenuity, and leadership and pioneering skills is necessary to move forward. The new moon requires that you defend your turf with those very same skills you use to help others. Now, at the face of a new moon, you must harness those skills to help yourself. It is a time of strategy, planning, and swift attack for self preservation. It is also a time to fight for others. The feelings to venture into areas where angels fear to tread is the sole function you are required. Now we're going to go into the fixed signs, the full moon and the new moon in the fixed signs. The full moon in Taurus, like Venus retrograde, a full moon in Taurus always confers crisis in action. It a time to accumulate, acquire possessions, even people, and strong, let's put up here, and a strong sense of expression and also sensuality. The senses, one second, I'm putting the glasses here. The senses become heightened, aroused, strong sexual tension need releasing. But it is also a time to build on ideas previously planned, a time to set aside fears and procrastinations. If this is not handled properly, overindulgence will result, which can affect health. Overeating as a compensatory mechanism will result. The more sensuous or given to appetite, the stronger the fear of letting go or losing ground. Taurians don't care much for change, even when absolutely necessary. This overindulgence on a Taurus full moon is directly proportional to admitting to oneself and accepting the invulnerability of change. Okay? So the full moon in Taurus is a little complex. Uh, the full moon in Taurus is again the five senses, right? Touch, smell, feel, hear. They become very, very heightened. And it's almost like a state of anxiety. Remember, the opposite polarity is Scorpio, the sign of crisis in consciousness. Here, we may have a crisis in action or vice versa. Remember, the nodal axis falls on this polarity of Taurus and Scorpio. Here, there might be fears that are not real but imagined, or there may be fears that come out of nowhere because something might have triggered these fears due to feeling vulnerable in prior cycles. Cycles repeat themselves, and we may not be consciously aware of them, but our bodies can react to these phases because we've been familiar with them before. So here we have a rather complexity. The reaction of the full moon in Taurus may make the person overindulge or develop bad habits, as a form of coping. Since the fear here is that it may be forced to make fundamental changes, which Taurians very seldom like to do. Now, Taurus new moon, unlike the full moon, where a crisis in action demands for the Taurian to evaluate, compare a Venus function, and make judgments of a situation, will permit the Taurian to rethink his decisions and reevaluate his options and then act. Unfortunately, this shift in consciousness will be preceded by a crisis. The threat perceived by the time of the full moon becomes reality by the new moon. This means that the change will occur all around the society and create a way of making people move towards perceived problems. For the Taurian, this usually means a loss of some kind of much some kind of a loss of some kind. Only a shift in consciousness or afflictions of health. That's what will happen if the shift in consciousness doesn't and Taurus doesn't listen to the impulses to move and change. An affliction in the health of the person will result. The passing of a loved one or financial loss are three terrors dear to a Taurian's heart. Yet, this is exactly what will ensue if change is uh, resisted over prolonged periods of time. Right? So the new moon in Taurus seems to be more problematic than the new moon. Then the new moon is more problematic than the full moon. The full moon, you have the urge and the impulse because change is coming. It's around the corner. It's looming, and they have until the new moon to make the change. If the change is not made and the full moon is here, a crisis will occur because now the universe will have to make and force the Taurian to make the changes. Full moon in Scorpio. A Scorpio full moon is extremely paradoxical, complex, and intense. The reason being, the energies are directed inward and, like a pressure cooker, seized with smoldering passion. This passion can be harnessed to accomplish great tasks externally, including investing in a cause or a person, or developed late internally in the world of thoughts, psychic impressions, dreams, intuition, and extrasensory faculties. Restlessness always stirs within an emotional brooding. Moodiness also occurs, and uncomfortable silence can also occur and can allude to a long hashing out or confrontation at some point in the cycle. This energy can be directed at the self as well. Suspicion, jealousy, aggression, and other intense emotions might bubble to the surface. Ignored, the energy will explode with fierce tenacity, usually um, aiming in all or coming, usually coming in all kinds of guises. The environment is apt to be hostile and dangerous if only perceived that way. Strange and unexpected turning points can happen. The lesson here is, like the moon in all water signs, listen to your intuition. grounding your energies, and act with faith and power. Okay. The Scorpio cup. He empties the content out. This can be metaphorically applied to a Scorpio's outpouring of great energy, which can accomplish great tasks. At best, the Scorpio new moon lends itself to great energies of concentration, focus. It can create chaos, irritability, suspicion, encourages secrecy, and engages in sexual excess or underworld activity. Morality and virtues usually take a back seat to more less evolved motivations. Depending on the situation, instincts of survival will always be present, both for the full and new moon. Argumentative, argumentativeness and picking fights will be the pathway in which such individuals seek inner sanctum. And the last pair, and then we're going to do the reading, is Aquarius full moon. The Aquarius full moon, Aquarius luminations of full moon, yeah, Aquarius is a little funny here. The Aquarius lunations of full moon behavior acts differently here than in other signs. Here, an Aquarius full moon acts as an awakener to higher octave, to higher vibrations, realities, and stuff, quote unquote. These stuffs, or truths, actually, different vibrations, realities, and truths. These truths, let's see. Okay, these truths borderlines on the personal, the mundane, and the cosmic. The personal, the mundane, which is the society at large, and the cosmic, the concept of godity, the concept of God. Remember, in Aquarius is where we develop a God complex. These truths, whatever they may be, intrude on the psyche, even involuntarily. These revelations can be the result of turning points, which no longer can be ignored. Right? These truths intrude on the psyche in order to cause change. If this is resisted, a crisis in action results. This crisis will serve as a catalyst for the impending change. If the change is resisted, whether further still, society is forced to overthrow the individual. And this can backfire, or this can take form as alienation, isolation, and lead to emotional eccentricity or erratic behavior. This, let's see, this skeletal framework can be applied to the personal, mundane, or cosmic insights or revelations, and this doesn't have to occur on a conscious level. It can also occur in dreams, in altered states due to drugs, or a near death experience, or through intense trauma or tragedy. Now, the Aquarius new moon, the flashes of insight or truth realized at the full moon now become instinctual urges or impulses Such impulses will grow in magnitude and directly proportional to the chaos it will cause if nothing is done about them. If not, he too, sudden and often drastic turn of events will separate the native from his familiar environment. This environment is also internal. If if it continues to be unaddressed, mental instability will result and or loss of position, whatever that may be. Reversals can occur. In classical astrology, Saturn was the co-ruler of Aquarius. Disgrace or separation from the group and or turning against the group due to shifting ideologies and strange adherence to questionable scruples. However, if the impulses are followed and trusted, the individual will become an instrument of the universe, an agent which will involve or which will be aided by the universal mind to advance his culture, generation, or reach a position where he can have insight that will be significant only to the native. Genius, high creativity, and invention are marked by, let's see, are marked by products of this transmutational process. Okay, so again with this new moon in Aquarius, basically we are looking at a series of truths that the native will either share or not share. If he shares them, he expects people to join in the bandwagon. If he doesn't share them, he will observe to see if the truths are easily observable around him. And if they're not, he can choose to be idle and not act, or choose to make those truths a reality according to the shape of his environment. Okay? Another complex position. And finally, the last one will be another video when I go into another category. This one again is work and career. Then there's going to be love and relationship, health and fitness, the future, and also the calling of the ancestors, communicating with the ancestors. So it'll be like 5 videos with these categories, and in one of those other categories, I will mention the last phase of the new moon, which is the mutable phase. Here we have the Leo full moon. The Leo full moon confers honor, attention, recognition, a successful outcome or end result leading to originality, respect, and a touch of prestige. The effect of a full moon in Leo is totally a reactive projection of the environment, including people, towards the native. So the native projects his personality onto his environment and assimilates the environment into one expressive unit. This projection, or on behalf of the audience, right, the public, is usually a positive one. The native, by doing nothing, gains everything. The people, or those important and unimportant in the life of the native, have no choice but to respect the native and grant him total leverage like a king on a throne. The mere confidence of a Leo full moon guarantees success through the agency of faith in any or all uh, in anything or in all endeavors. The Leo full moon, psychologically speaking, is very antithetical and pregnant with rich inner realities, only knowledgeable to the native. It is the dwelling place of the native's spark of creativity. The Leo new moon. The Leo new moon has been compared to milk and honey, the sweetness of life. The native will receive recognition and all the honor and prestige it confers. At best, the native obtains fame and prosperity due to a creative undertaking initiated at the full moon. At the very least, the native is inspired to do something creative, a task. This includes mating, for Leo rules procreation, raising children, cleaning, or just to be inspired by a thought. A thought releasing uh, energy of abundance and greatness that can lend to a spontaneous act of creativity. Or strength of will or courage may be at its optimum, giving the native enough energy to complete a creative task. The fixity nature of the fire element will provide the native great sustainability and stamina. Leo rules romance, the courtship game, the cat and mouse chase, engaging in periods of rest and preoccupations are also favorable. Um, Recreational activities, playing games and or spending time with children are good activities initiated at the Leo new moon. Okay, we are done. I believe we did the cardinal signs. I don't believe I did Libra. I don't believe I did Libra. That's crazy. So let me do Libra now. Libra, the urge and need on a psychological plane to bond with another person becomes the sole purpose of the Libra full moon. The native is highly idealistic and fantasy escapist prone. Unlike Pisces, the other helpless romantic, Libra will actively seek to consummate with a partner. This is the cardinal or the cardinality expression of the sign. Libra's appraisal is never subtle, but not direct either. The actions and motivations are all driven towards the collateral of a partner or the collaboration of a partner. The full moon is a time of strategy and execution, planning and negotiating, but never initiating anything directly, but maneuvering and manipulating incessantly to obtain leverage or an advantage over another. Sudden confrontation and or interrogation is another trademark of the full moon in Libra. Argumentativeness and periods of despondency, hidden motivations and private dealings and or exchanges are also apparent with the full moon. The new moon in Libra. The seed idea of the full moon, which enraptures its natives' uh, imagination and idealism, becomes complete and manifested at the new moon. It is a time to cultivate partnerships of all kinds and types. It is a time of opportunity to integrate into the social scene and develop meaningful associations. Although Libra is seen as a positive sign, it is quite decisive and executive at the dawn of the new moon. Reconciliations, adjustments, and re-evaluations occur at this time. If indecision gripped the native at a full moon, a decisive action or choice will follow at the new moon. Okay, and you can use that. So whenever you know the lunar phases, you know the full moon, new moon, and this will apply in accordance. Now we are going to move this over here. Hopefully I'm still on the air, and I am still on the air. And as soon as possible, so I can get to see some of you. I might not be able with this type of video, I will not be able to interact with you because the length of the video to cover the reading. Okay, here we go. We reconnected. Okay. Okay. Jeez. Now the light is on. All right. So let me switch it. Let's see. I'm gonna take a risk. Take a risk. I'm trying to turn it so it can hit the other side. Come on now. Come on. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Normal, please. I'm trying to flip the camera. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. This is just so terrible. All right. You can open it up. Lock it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Wow. Amazing. It is determined to make this difficult. But we're almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. There we are. Here we go. There we go. There we go. Now let me adjust this. Oh. I don't want to rotate the device. Come on now. Okay. Great. Woe's me. Right? Woe is me. Okay. We're going to put these here. It's supposed to read the other way. But you know, when it's this difficult, that means it's going to be good. It really will be good. I have about 12 decks. And of course, the one that Spirit inspires me to use will be the one that I will use. I will delineate 3 rows. Oh, don't do that. No, yep, right. I got you. Yes. Come on. Yes, I got you. Come on. It's telling me to rotate the device. Yes, it is. Come on. Yes. Can we continue, please? I'm rotating the device. Okay, I rotated the device. Okay, all right. Oh, for the love of God, cooperate. Rotate the device, yes. Rotate the device. Great. Thank you. Okay. You know, it can make you feel so helpless. It can make you feel so helpless. Let me see. And it changed my camera again to the other side. That is just amazing how it does that. It's amazing. Come on now. All right. Guys, thank you so much for bearing with me. Thank you so much for bearing with me. This is just awful. It's such a distasteful experience. This is my Saturn in Aries. You know, any little or minor task becomes almost an impossibility. Okay. Alrighty. This is not going to really work the way I want it. But it'll have to make do. So, and I have a huge mirror glass table, but it can be appreciated because of the constant. And if I move the camera 1 inch, even a little bit, it gives me a complication. It's like I have to put it on my lap. Okay. And I might need to dim the light a little bit. Maybe I need to do that. It just doesn't make it any better. And I have to raise this a lot higher. I tell you, it won't be like this in the next videos. I will find another way.